next session. My name is AJ Trejabo, and I happen to be there. I happen to be part of the MCs for today's session, along with my co-MC, Elliot, Elliot Bafu. Yeah. So we are moving on right away into the presentation of projects. And this project are going to be presented by 4 groups. They've actually been working on the project for the past 6 months. And then it is focused on the community build, leadership, and also sustainability, right? So the first group we have 4 groups. The first one is Be Live Maths. The second one is Eco 12. The third one is Clean Coals. And the fourth one is Marshmallows. So they are going to do a presentation, from all the 4 groups. And each group has a maximum of 12 minutes to be done with the presentation. So to start with, I would invite the first group, that's Be Live Maths, to start with their presentation. Please, are they here? Please, as they are preparing to be on stage, kindly remember to subscribe to the YouTube channel, the Baobab Entrepreneur. Yeah. So you can just search it and then follow it or subscribe, and then share the link to your friends who are not here to also get the chance to watch whatever is going on here. And there is also a missing but found money. So if you've misplaced your money, you can see any of the MCs, and then you describe, you give it a good description, and then we know whether you are the owner. Please, let's welcome the Be Live Maths with a round of applause. You have 12 minutes.
Hi. So we are here to make our presentation on our project, but there is an update on our PowerPoint presentation. So please hold on for a few minutes so we work on it. It's 3:30. All right, I guess I just have to start and wait for them. Okay, so my name is Michael Akon, and we are group 4 of the DYEP project. The name of our project that we took on is the Believe Smart project. And the problem that we are addressing in this project is to engage farmers. It's to engage farmers in Ghana who are facing challenges, or just farmers who are in the rural areas, and then we train them into how to get honey from bees. But what we are actually doing is not the ordinary one. You see, with the ordinary one, you just have to do it separately. You have a different farmland altogether. You have a different farmland altogether and do it. But ours is quite different. Okay. So the goal of this project is to develop ecopreneurs in Ghana through climate smart agriculture and livelihood improvement. And some of the objectives of this project that we seek to achieve by the end is to promote climate change advocacy and awareness, implement climate smart agricultural practices, enhance the adaptive capacity of farmers, and also foster sustainable entrepreneurship in the agricultural sector. So in the course of our project, what we will be doing is stakeholder engagement and consultation, because we have to see the farmers, speak to them, and some other key stakeholders like the community leaders and all those people that can give us the permission to go on to carry on with our project. Okay, so there's also advocacy campaigns where, since we are doing ecopreneurship, it's not just entrepreneurship. We are not just after the money, but we are also looking at doing it in a sustainable way to promote a green environment. So in the course of our projects, we are going to encourage farmers and the community members to be inclined more onto climate action and good environmental practices. And also we have the trainings and workshops where we are going to teach them, be on the field with them on how they are going to use, incorporate their traditional farming with the beehive and the beekeeping. So what we seek to achieve, which is the impact model is to boost crop yields, okay? Increase, so with the project that we are taking, which is the Believe Smart project, the farmers do their normal farming on the same farmland, right? But let's say it's a maize or cassava farm. They are going to do the beekeeping in the same farm, okay? So it's, you see that bees are also insects that increase or affect pollination and other processes of agriculture. So that is what is going to, it is going to increase the crop yields, okay? Because it's going to make the land more fertile. It's going to make pollination easier and all that. Also foster employment, because they now have to employ many people or a few other people to help them in their activities. And you know, with agroforestry, it helps carbon sinks, okay? So this project is leading to that as well. So what we've done so far is a stakeholder engagement. We have a model, or we have someone who is already into this. His name is David, and his product is a subsidiary or is a product of Amoma Hives, which is like his organization, okay? So that is, he goes to the rural areas, engages with the farmers and produces honey. So we've connected with him, had sessions with him, and also we are learning from the kind of challenges he's been facing, and we've spoken to a few other farmers to understand what we are going into. So currently we have done just a stakeholder engagement, but what we seek to do from here is to prepare for the actual projects, which will entail the trainings and workshops, the advocacy campaigns that we talked about, and also the climate smart agricultures to encourage them to take them up. So the lessons that we have learned in the process of this ecopreneurship training, and also with a little engagement that we've had with the stakeholders, is adaptability, knowledge transfer, community mobilization, and monitoring and evaluation. So when we had the engagement with David, what we learned was that the farmers can sometimes give you assurance that, oh, we'll do this, but once you give them the money and you do not have effective monitoring on them, they might not deliver what they promised to do. So that is what we have learned, and planning on ways to overcome them. And so if we are able to get the funding for this project, we seek to, after we roll out the first plan, we seek to scaling up, picking that up as an actual business so that it can help other colleagues employ more people and all that. Also, we would like to collaborate with other people with ecopreneurship mindsets, like David, whom I mentioned earlier, to do more in the space. Also, research and innovation. And also sustainable funding, which is the last one. All right, so since the presentation is here, I would like to show you what I was talking about. So please, so this current slide, it's David in there with some of the farmers and stakeholders when he went to the village, okay? And this is one of the products that he came up with. So this is manufactured by under his supervision, okay, by the farmers in the rural village. So this is our project, the Believe Smart project, and we hope to get funding to take it up. Thank you. But I didn't introduce, so yes. So our team, we are four in the team, but one is not here, which is Okay, one is not here. She is Zina, the first lady. She's not here currently, but Lord is here. Lord is right here. All right, and myself, I'm Michael. And then we have Belinda as well. Thank you for your time. So we are open to your questions as well, if you have any. Right.
Thank you for your presentation. Please, can you hear me from there?
Yes, we can.
Can I make suggestions?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I realized that whilst presenting, you were looking on your phone. That means you weren't like really involved in what you were saying, because you should have given us what.
Please let her feel free to express her thoughts, please.
To tell us what you were saying without looking on it, if it's something that has brought an outcome.
Okay,
And
so with what
not,
are you going to end or?
yes. And also I realized that with the risk you were mentioning, you just gave us one specific thing that the farmers were not actually involved. They'll tell you they want to do this, and then later, starting a business, there should be actual risks you want to face. I didn't see anything there like that. And then I didn't get the structure of your presentation, because I just didn't get the structure. I didn't really see what you were talking about. Although you were saying something, I didn't get anything. So please, my question is,
Wait, please wait. Hold on.
This one,
So would you like me to address the first one before you move to the? Yes. All right. So this is actually a fellowship, more like a fellowship that we undertook, and we were put in different groups to come up with projects. Okay. And with this particular presentation, we were given a structure to follow. It is not an ordinary business pitch. Do you understand? So if you are looking for certain key or technical business stuff, then you'd have to ask a question, then I will give you an answer. Do you get me? And it's a structure, like I said. I do not have the slides here. I can talk about the business model separately without looking on my phone. But then we have been given a structure to follow, which is it's linking what we learned during the fellowship period and also what we are expected to produce. Okay, so it's not just about the business, then not like I don't know what I'm talking about. I
didn't say that. Don't take it personal. You didn't clarify what you were saying from the onset. And then to us, you made it sound like you were giving a pitch for the idea to be taken out. That's why I said that. And also, I want to know that, bee producing takes time. And then honey producing takes time. And you need experts, right? So how long did it take you to train the farmers, and what were the major challenges you faced? I need like 2 whilst training them.
Okay, so if you really paid attention to what you were saying,
I did.
realize we were consulting someone called David about this particular project we are coming to work on. So David has actually been in this for long. David has been in this for about 2 years, and he has, I would say, a well-established network in this business field. He's more related to the farmers very well. So we are trying to establish a partnership with him, to help speed up what we are trying to do at a faster rate. Okay, I'm fine. Please, any more questions? Sure, we are done. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for your presentation. That was fine. Under the circumstances, your slide had some few problems. So all situations considered, you did well. I'm concerned about one thing. What are some of the risks you envisage, and what are the mitigating factors?
Exactly. So one of the main things he said about this risking was the relation with the farmers, because we are not going to stay, or it will be impossible for us to stay in the farm yard with the farmers for long. I mean, we'll leave it for them and then we'll come here. So it's like the business will be more interested in their care. And as you said earlier, you leave the money with them and then they start telling you stories. That's why we are so keen on the partnership we're talking about with the consultant called David. I mean, he is more established with the farmers. The farmers trust him. He also trusts the farmers. So it's like he goes on a so give and take sort of affair with the farmers. So it's like he has very good business with them. And we are going to attach ourselves to what he has already established over there. So that's how we actually decide to mitigate that risk we are trying to face. Hope it's fine.
Okay. So I want to add up.
All right. So please, this is to all of us, the audience, sorry. I've been a judge for several pitches. And on the final day of, people pitching, when they are done presenting, you don't criticize them, or you don't tell them things that will put them down. If you don't understand something, or maybe you need clarification, like the question he asked, what are some of the risks? What are some changes? How are you going to do this or that? I think that one is welcomed. If you have any constructive feedback to give after the presentation, you can approach them, because this is not a training stage. They are presenting to us. So please, thank you.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Be live, Matt. Yeah, and please hold on. Moving on with their questions, we would like them to finish before you ask their questions, like for all the groups. So yes, all the groups are going to finish before you come up with your questions. So when a group is presenting, you can write down your question, and then when all of them are done, then you put your questions out. Okay, so I'm taking this last question, then we move on.
Okay, thank you. So I wanted to ask, in the farms, are the farmers allowed to spray agrochemicals on the farm while the hives are on the farm? So that's the clarification, because we are also thinking about eco-friendly initiatives. So we know that the agrochemicals, the inorganic ones, they kill the bees. So are they allowed to spray those chemicals on the farm?
Yes, so we actually expected the question you're asking. And that's why if you actually maybe heard what my colleague was saying, he was like, we are going to engage the farmers into some sort of training. It was mentioned. So it's like to make them more aware of these climate smart agricultural processes, so which would eventually prevent the suggestion you just put up and also make our work successful. So it's that simple.
All right, thank you very much for your presentation. Please give it up to them.
Green African Youth Organization has come a very long way to bring the Eco Clubs this far. We are very thankful that all of you are here today. We want you guys to give yourself a round of applause again. So moving on, we'll be inviting some panelists upstage so that they will take over from whatever their cohorts have for us and the groups as well. So first we have Miss Lavia. So kindly come upstage for us. Mr. Arnold, Mr. Maxwell, and then Mr. Joshua. So give them a round of applause, please.
Okay, so we are moving on with the next group to come up with their presentation. And I have the Ray Echo 12 group. Please give them a round of applause. So as I said earlier, you can subscribe to the YouTube channel, which is actually helping us with the streaming. The name is Baobab Entrepreneur. That's BAOBAB. Yes, so kindly search the link on YouTube and then subscribe and then share the link to your friends who are not here to also have the opportunity to participate. All right, and sure. So you have 12 minutes to come up with your presentation.
Greetings, everyone. My name is Samina Bent Ahmed, a student of the University of Cape Coast, currently pursuing a bachelor's degree program in environmental science. And I'm here with my team members. We are group 2, and we are pitching on the topic, the title, plastic recycling project. Before we dive into the details of our transformative eco-sustainable plastic recycling project, I would like us to reflect on the quote stated in the United Nations Environmental Program report earlier released in May this year. It states, to drastically reduce the risk associated with plastic pollution, we need to adopt a circular approach to keep plastics out of our ecosystem and economy. So imagine a world where we have fully adapted to the concept of circular economy. It's okay. Imagine a world where we have fully adapted to the concept of circular economy, where plastics are no longer seen as a concern, but we have the power to reshape our communities. We have the power to protect our planet and the power to leave a long-lasting legacy for our generations to come. So please, we'll now begin with our introduction. Plastic pollution is a significant environmental concern facing the world today, and the University of Cape Coast and its surrounding communities are not exempted from this menace. Within the last few years, Amamoma and Ayensu, these are communities located at the University of Cape Coast campus. And within the last few years, they faced a huge plastic waste challenge where they have issues disposing of waste. This is as a result of the increasing populations in the school and the various communities. Indiscriminate disposal of plastic waste in our communities and then in our campus, as I earlier stated, has led to the accumulation of plastic waste in landfills and in open spaces, and some of the plastics have found their ways into our water bodies. This is as a result of our plastic waste collection. They do not have inadequate, or the plastic waste systems there are insufficient. So they therefore resort to any method they find to dispose their waste. So if it's at midnight and they know that nobody is watching, they just drag the waste and then they dump it anywhere. It can be behind a lecture theater. It can be behind somebody's hostel. It can be anywhere at all. And it has negative impact on the community. Some of the plastic waste clog the gutters, and this caused a lot of problems for us as students. The plastics that clogs the gutters, we end up having to have a problem when it rains because the gutters are choked and the waters are not able to go through. Also, it decreases the aesthetic value of the community. So the picture here is a picture of the plastic waste disposal behind a lecture theater. Just imagine, students won't be able to learn if we have this kind of plastic waste disposed behind our lecture theaters. The picture on the right is actually a picture of waste, plastic waste disposed in the UCC Botanical Garden, which is a very, very, very bad thing, because the Botanical Garden is supposed to serve as a training ground for science students. But here's the case, some parts of the Botanical Garden, they end up disposing plastic waste there. Please, let's move on. How are we going to make a change? So we'll move on to talk about our goal. Okay, that's fine. Okay. So our goal is to reduce plastic pollution on the University of Cape Coast campus and its surrounding communities. So our project is an innovative plastics recycling project that seeks to transform plastic waste into valuable projects. And we want to do this by implementing a recycling system where we collect the waste from various places. It can be from the offices, it can be from their houses, where we sort and then we process the waste and then manufacture them into different products. These are our objectives. So our main objective is to form a bond, is to create an awareness with by informing most of the departments at school and forming associations with most of the eco clubs on campus to assess the knowledge on the circular economy in various community schools, to develop an innovative technique for sorting and processing plastic waste, and to develop an efficient waste collection system. Next slide, please. To ensure the effectiveness and efficiency of our project, we've divided what we want to do into distinct phases, where each is building on the previous one. So in our first phase, in this phase, we want to lay the foundation for our project by creating awareness and raising awareness with the help of associated departments and eco clubs on campus. With the second phase, materialization and characterization and segregation. During the beginning of the project, when we were asked to provide a proposal, we sat down, we wrote a lot, and we didn't really know how we're going to go about it. So our focus was centered on producing a product out of the plastics. We didn't really know that we have to segregate the waste and know the types of plastics. So our phase 2 talks about separating the types of plastics that we have, learning about their composition and knowing what each plastic can do. Because if you are going to form a product, you can't use all types of plastics. You might end up breaking the plastics after it has been formed. So building on the success of our second phase, we move on to the product development phase, where we can now acquire our equipment. That's the machines we'll be using to process the plastics. And then moving on to the fourth phase. After you've been able to generate your resources and you know that you are forming a product, you have to know the environmental impact that the plastics that you are forming has on the environment. We know that the plastics has impact on the environment. Like I mentioned earlier, if it's left on the land, it decreases the aesthetic value of the communities, yes. So if you are going to compare that to the chemicals or maybe what is going to come out of the products that you've recycled, you'd have to compare to know which one is more harmful to the environment, and then know your economic assessment and how they are going to go about and sell your product. At this point, I'd like to call on my honorable teammate to continue the presentation. Yeah. Where was my? Should I continue with my? Thank you for your attention so far. Again, I'm in the person of Yemedi Dramadu, also pursuing a bachelor's program in environmental science. Taking off from where my colleague ended, yes, we are implementing a circular economy program. So we'll be starting from material collection, and then from there we would segregate, work with experts to create our products, and then from there we enter the markets to sell and make profits. Next slide. We have a picture. So these are models that we look forward to creating. This is a desk, a garden seat, not a desk, a garden seat that we want to produce at the end of the day. And then next. This is a 3D model of the decks that I want to produce at the end of the day as well. At the end of the presentation, we'll get to know what those two products, the problems they would be solving. To our value proposition, we are happy to share that our project is the first of its kind in the Cape Coast metropolis. We are also looking at delivering quality products at lower prices. At lower prices because we'll be spending less amount of money on our waste materials because they are very abundant in our environment. Also improving the quality of life of students. To start with the UCC community, we have very limited garden seats on campus. So when students are tired after a long day's work, they don't have anywhere to sit or rest. And then that informs our first bench. So the second, the decks, will also improve the quality of life of students in basic schools because we did some research and then found out that most of the students don't have furniture to sit on in the classrooms. So that informs our second type of product. Now, our project is also going to be eco-sustainable. We are hoping that in the long term, this would help us coexist with nature because as we clear our environment of this waste, biodiversity will be protected, and then from there, we have a very healthy earth to live on. To our market and industry, our targeted consumers, first off, is the UCC community, local communities around the UCC community, and then local residents. Next slide, please. Impact model. Okay. To the influence that we seek that our project has on our society, we are looking at reducing plastic pollution, mainly on UCC campus and then the surrounding community of the university community, and also advocate for a plastic pollution-free environment. Right now, plastic pollution is a thing, so we are hoping that by the time we are done implementing our project, the case of plastic pollution would be out of our books. Also, we are looking at building a society where the concept of circular economy will be well adopted to the extent that it would not only work for plastic, but then for every other form of waste that will be generated, everyone in the society will be interested in repurposing that or recycling that into something else and not just dumping into the environment. Next. Again, on our impact model, we are looking at producing very good products at lower prices, the decks and the benches, and then employment opportunities for the local youth, because there are lots of youth like us that are not in the classrooms, but then are just in town. So we are hoping that our project would give them a space to work. To what we have done so far, we have sent letters to the students' representative council. We have also sent letters to heads of departments and other patrons to make our intentions known to them and also tell them in what ways we think they can be of help to us. We are also currently working with an expert who has already been in the plastic recycling world to help us secure a space to work.
Also, we have engaged waste collectors who are helping us collect waste from the surrounding communities. Since we are on UCC campus, we are helping on UCC campus, so we have engaged waste collectors to help us outside UCC campus. Now, the first picture shows waste collection in town. The second picture, that was on campus, plastic bottles that were collected on campus. And then the third picture shows the plastic being weighed. On our research, we found out that in a month, from 18 schools in Cape Coast, they produce 1.5 tons of plastic. So that would also help us know what to do at the end of the day. So far, we have learned that we need to consider a lot of factors in plastic recycling. We have also realized that waste collection needs a lot of time and effort, and then working in a team requires effective communication and a lot of teamwork at the end of the day.
Thank you so much. The Ecopreneurs. Please, a round of applause. Thank you so much for the impacts you are making in the circular economy and the ecopreneurship space. I mean, in general. Yeah, so moving on, we will leave it up to the panel to have their interaction with the group.
Yeah, great job, everybody. I think what I really appreciated was the evolution of your vision for this, because there were a lot of different ideas you came up with as a team. And I think we saw a couple of different drafts. And I think as you see, their effective teamwork requires a lot of collaboration. I think you really demonstrated that, the high level vision, but also how you would implement it. If I was going to give you some constructive feedback, it would be to just think about the value chain of plastic. And you're trying to, I guess I got a sense that you want to be involved in all parts of that value chain, but as a kind of a student group in a time-bound project, that's really hard to do all of those things. And so, and this is probably applicable to all groups, just to think about, is there one part of that value chain of plastic that you as students would be uniquely positioned to excel in? Maybe it's with the waste pickers, and then you can get it onto a processor, or maybe you can process it, but you've got someone else who's aggregating it for you. But to try to do it all and think about multiple products is a lot to swallow for, I love the ambition, but I think it's learn how to crawl before you learn how to walk kind of situation, but keep it up.
Thank you very much.
All right, you've really done well. May I please know whom your competitors are? And then secondly, I would love to hear more about your business model, because I didn't hear anything about it.
Thank you for the question. Okay, please, we realize that we actually have very few competitors in the space in light of the kind of products that we want to come up with at the end of the day. And also with our business model, we want to create the products and then sell to the UCC community and then the surrounding community. Please, have I answered your question?
Okay, that's excellent. So as we continue to learn, the business model has to do with how you are going to make money. So you can include, okay, maybe when we produce this particular chair, it costs this amount of money. And we are looking forward to selling to this number of people. At the end, this is the profit we are going to make. Then you come up with a call to action that you are looking forward to raising this amount of money based on your business model. Then investors will see that, okay, looking at your business model, you are going to make profit. Let me inject some funds into it. You've really done well. Thank you.
Thank you.
That was a great presentation. My input has to do with the needs assessment. I remember her saying that when you got the problem, you wrote a lot and a lot. I was thinking you were going to the community where you want to make that product viable, or whatever target group it is, do a needs assessment on why those situations are going on. This is the kind of products you want to bring on board. What is your notion on it? With the state that you not finish a product, bring it to the market and not get a readily available market, or you not get a sustainable way of making money out of it because you didn't do the needs assessment to ensure if that product you are bringing on board will be accepted by the community, if you have done an awareness creation on advocacy, on attitudinal change when it comes to plastics, or when it comes to waste product. So I think that's one. What again? Okay, I think let me leave the rest.
Thank you very much.
I mean, excellent presentation, guys. I think you work very well as a team. One of the things I'll just say is that with your with your model, then you are going to very in order to find a product fit. So you need to implement the lean startup strategies. Sure that you make one product, maybe at least 50 products, target a school, get them to use it, and begin iterating them, especially the desks for the students. Because we've seen a lot, even the government desk, which they claim of thoughts go into it. Some of us, we sit and then we have back pains. So you would have to be very iterative, find a product market fit before you mass produce.
Thank you very much.
Good.
No? Okay, so thanks so much for Eco-Lift. Well, kindly give them a round of applause again. Gaio Eco Club chapters. Gaio Eco Club chapters. Gaio Eco Club chapters. Stewards of the environment. Gaio Eco Club chapters. Stewards of the environment. Let's go. Gaio Eco Club chapters.
Stewards of the environment.
Gaio Eco Club chapters.
Stewards of the environment.
Okay, so at this point, we have 2 more groups to go. But before we move on, can you take out your phones, go on LinkedIn, search for Gaio Eco Club chapters, and then follow us. So when we have any other upcoming events, you will be notified. Can you do this? Take a few seconds to do this. Follow us on LinkedIn. We are on Instagram. We are also on Facebook. Follow us on LinkedIn. All the Eco Club chapter members, please do that. Do so. So whatever events that we have upcoming, you can be able to get a notification. So the next group that we have from the cohorts is Clean Coals. Is Clean Coals here? Clean Coals, are you here? Okay, so let's welcome on stage Clean Coals to give us their group presentation. You can do better for them. You can do better for them.
Evening, wonderful. We are working on clean coals. Yes. We are working on clean coals. So, okay, sure. We are team Breakjana. Breakjana is a waste and an environmental company that seeks to promote circular economy by recycling biomass into smokeless briquette. Our sole vision is that going forward, in your household name is going to be Brick Jenna as far as affordable and clean energy is concerned. And our sole mission is to produce an efficient, economic, environmentally friendly, and healthy charcoal as an alternative fuel wood to our normal charcoal. Next slide. Oh, thank you. Who is? Okay. Oh. According to a report by the International Energy Agency, the dominant challenge that humanity and here and even Sub-Saharan Africa, over 90% of households depend on charcoal and fuel wood as a means of primary source of what? Energy. Okay. Over 2 million tons of wood and charcoal were anticipated to have been produced in Ghana. And this poses a huge threat to our natural vegetation, since the key drivers to deforestation is fuel, wood, and charcoal production. Looking at this threat actually poses vulnerabilities to extinction in terms of fauna and in terms of our flora, going to increase our greenhouse emissions. So, according to a report by the World Health Organization in 2019, 1.5 million people died as a result of inhaling this charcoal. And this has raised environmental concerns. Brick China have taken a step in curbing this, and we do. Brick China will seek to provide an alternative cooking fuel to charcoal and fuel, and also we want actively the knowledge people in the community of Odumase, which is in the Bono region. And then also, thank you. And also we want to produce over 50 packs of briquettes right after 5 months after the implementation of this project. With our project implementation, first of all, we are dealing with the site selection. Our site, the site for this project is at the Bono region, as I said, in the Odumase region. Odumase community, this community has a forest reserve which is surrounded by French communities. However, these communities tend to encroach into this forest reserve for fuel wood and mainly to produce charcoal. And then obtaining molding machines. So the second activity is to obtain molding machines to produce this briquette as an alternative fuel wood. And then our key raw material for this production is obtaining this waste that are being produced by coconuts, those who sell coconut around our community. So specifically in Odumase, we are going to go around and source out these raw materials. And then molding of prototype for even this one, we've been able to even work with the Faculty of Agric in KNUST. They've given us their lab and they've been able to even produce some prototypes. So my colleagues will pass it around for our wonderful jury to have a feel of what the briquette is. And then market testing. With the market testing, we are going to also send this sample to our target market, like the restaurants, to have a test of it. Afterwards, we are going to give them, administer questionnaires, conduct interviews to know their perception on how the product is, so that we can find how best we can better our product. And then community sensitization. Together with the Gayo Eco Club campus chapters, we are going to organize a community sensitization in the Odumase community to educate people on the need to resort to briquette other than going for charcoal and fuel. Thank you.
Thank you. So problem opportunity is a theory. So we have identified a problem in the society that's cutting down of trees. That's very rampant in Ghana. And if you go to most of the households, they are either cutting down trees for firewood, for fire, and also burning down of trees for charcoal. So with our opportunity, as we are solving problems in the environment, we are also making money. And making this money, we're also going to give back to the society. So we have our target markets. So we have the restaurants, street stands, shopping malls, individual homes, pubs, and grill joints and hotels. So we intend to set up a manufacturing site. Afterwards, we get a warehouse. Then we start a bulk production and orders and delivery. Then our mode of delivery is also going to be one-on-one, going to house, that is meeting individuals to speak to them, that's individual homes and speaking to them, and also exporting them. So our market size, we are looking at 500 people or 500 homes by year 2025. We also intend, as time goes by and production increases, we will be meeting the target of 10,000 households by 2027 and 3 million households in Ghana by 2030. So with our marketing, charcoal, it's a business though, but we have to have a means of selling our business to make it more attractive. And we are taking the advantage of social media, making it more attractive, giving out ads or adverts for people to buy into what we are doing. So we are taking opportunity of social media platforms to promote the use of briquettes. We are also doing community engagement for the community to know the essence, the importance of using briquettes instead of charcoal and firewood. Also, sell stands. So in our various communities, we have people who sell charcoal in smaller sizes or smaller quantities. So we intend to also visit those people, give them some of our prototype for them to test, for them to also promote our business as times go by. So our progress so far. We've been able to obtain a hectare of land for projects. And also, we've been able to produce 20 kilograms of the prototype, which my colleagues are showing around. And if I can get a sample to demonstrate something to you. Currently, our prototype is under testing, proving the durability and the strength of our briquettes as we competing or penetrating the market. So our briquette here is stainless. I'm wearing white and it doesn't stain my shirt. As compared to the charcoal we use at home, it's stainless and it's not harmful to the environment and to anyone that uses it. It doesn't produce any smoke. So our financial projection, it is projected that every month we'll be accumulating an amount of 1,500 Ghana cedis. That is monthly, and an income annually of 800,000 Ghana cedis. 18,000 Ghana cedis. We aim in producing 100 bags every month. And also a kilogram of our briquettes is 15 Ghana cedis. And that is very affordable. So this is our future plans. So our future plans is to acquire 20 hectares of land for mass production. Onwards, from 2024 to 2030 and beyond, we are aiming of acquiring 100,000 metric tons of a wholesale capacity to store more of our briquettes, and also more manufacturing sites to produce more briquettes to replace the charcoal in the system. And also having a coconut processing unit, that is our raw materials, our source of raw materials. And also, as we are making money and solving problems environmentally, we intend to also have an impact on the society. So we intend to also provide jobs for women. When you go to the local communities, most of these women go to the forest to gather wood for fire. And also they are the ones that use most of the charcoal. So this is also going to create unemployment for women and also for the youth. So we intend to open more manufacturing sites to give job opportunities for people. And also lowering the health risks that comes up with the use of the charcoal, that is the local charcoal. So with the use of briquettes, there's a reduced or there's zero impact on the human health and also on the environment. So I've already spoken about the creating of job opportunity or employment opportunity for the youth and the people. So also decreasing the impact on our mothers in the various local communities, carrying of load of charcoal or firewood. So with this, it's also going to reduce the impact it's having on them and also promoting women empowerment as well. Thank you very much.
Okay. Let's give it up for Re-Echo.
1 minute. So with all being said, we will call on you to join us, as Eldridge Cleaver once said, that in this world, there's no neutrality any point. It's either you are part of the pollution or you are part of the solution. Join us to be part of this solution, and together we offer our service to nature.
I think you guys should wait here. So thanks so much for clean course. We'll take the takes of the panelists.
Yes, thank you for an excellent presentation. It was nice. First of all, how many households do we have in Ghana? You don't have access to the data. So how did you know you can reach 3 million households in Ghana? If Ghana statistics is saying 1.5 million households, so how will you beat 3 million? Ghana and beyond. But you said in Ghana. Okay, that's just by the way. I'm coming. Just one minute. How much coconut is consumed in Ghana? So the reason is your projection. It is your projections that is making me ask these questions. So if the waste is not enough, then your end product will not be enough. So when you are making projections, look at these two. And then who is your competitor?
Okay. So our competitor currently, we have Zarcos and in the system. But our value proposition is that currently we are still having talks. We want to add some herbs that actually repel mosquito. So at the end, you are not just using your carbon emissions, but you're also repelling mosquitoes.
Very good. How much is Zarco producing right now?
Currently, we don't have that data.
Then you need to go and check.
Okay.
Otherwise, your face will hit, and reality check will hit your face when you enter the market.
Sure.
In fact, always know this. If you are entering into an already existing market, you have go to your competitor. You can tend to be a customer or even go and volunteer there and study the system before you implement.
Thank you.
So we'll take a take from just one panelist. Just one panelist.
Beginning of your presentation, you brought some findings, some statistics.
Yes. Please.
Where did you find those statistics? Where did you do the research by yourself?
Yes, please.
You did the research by yourself?
Yeah, we have the references in our main proposal, but for the purpose of the presentation, we couldn't bring it here. But some of the statistics came from the International Energy Agency.
Okay.
Yes, please.
So since we are learning, next time when you please try to quote, because you pick some data which wasn't done by yourself, you can be sued. Honestly speaking, you can be sued for that. And then what my said, make sure you know your competitors very well, because you mentioned your competitor. So when we ask you questions, you are supposed to know almost everything about your competitor. Know how much they are charging. What is their value proposition? You mentioned that you said something that I was really happy about it, that your product is going to, kill mosquitoes.
Yes, please.
Do you know whether your competitors do that or not? You have to really find out. and know how much they are charging so that you also do the same. And then finally, you also mentioned that you earn 18,000 cedis a year.
Yeah, projected financial
Projected.
income. Yes, please.
Okay, fine. And then you also mentioned that you are going to buy 20 hectares of land. So if I'm an investor, then if I project, it means that if I invest in your business, 10 years time, I won't get my money. I hope you understand. So you check all of those ones and balance it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, so thank you very much. Clean calls. So we are moving on to the next group. Please, when you come, be as precise and concise as you can be. So the next group is Mash Mills. Is Mash Mills here? Okay, so let's give it up for Mash Mills to give us their presentation.
Hello. Yeah, as Ecopreneurs, as we are all pushing and fighting and striving and to the environmental sustainability, I, Richard Larish Yenunam, and my teammates, Sekina Abdallah and Farida Abankwa, is behind the idea of Mash Mills. And in the Upper West region, there is minimal competitor when it comes to mushroom production. And so we have taken it upon ourselves and embarking on a research into a community called Sing Community that is in the Wa Municipal. And we realized that in this particular community, they are engaged into farming, that is rice farming. And there are also a lot of competitors around that are, into their vocational activities. And so we have a lot of sawdust and we have a lot of rice bran that is available in this particular community. And so we are using this organic waste to produce this particular mushrooms. Okay. So Mash Mill, we are addressing the minimal education and sensitization of the population in that particular community. And we are also, there is also a lack of knowledge about turning waste into resources and also inadequate recycling companies in the country. And precisely, we are being precise in the Upper West region. We don't have this particular type of business in the Upper West region. And also the population of the environment, there is also a pollution. When these people farm this particular rice, the waste that are being collected, the rice bran and the sawdust are being burned into the environment, causing carbon emissions and also contributing to the climate change. And so there is a lot of pollution in that community. That is what Mash Mill seeks to address. And also inadequate waste collection sites and bins are also one of the factors that we are looking at. Okay, so our goal is to advocate and sensitize. Our own is more of advocacy, and at the end we will be doing the implementation. So, okay, we are to advocate and sensitize the Sing community about waste management, and the objective is to advocate and engage stakeholders and community members on individual contributions to the waste management system and to practically collect some of the waste that is this particular way we are talking about and produce edible mushrooms. And again, we are to further train young women and youth in the type of waste they will collect to produce this particular mushrooms. So these are our objectives. We have community leaders and farmers engagement on waste management and recycling activities, and also advocacy and sensitization of the community on organic waste management, preparation of the mushroom site, construction of mushroom cultivation room for ready mushroom compost bags, procurement of mushroom cultivation maintenance materials, and purchase of mushroom ready cost bags, collection of the degradable waste, recycling them into these edible mushrooms, and also the last activity will be marketing and advertisement of this part of a particular mushroom. And the type of mushroom is the oyster mushroom. Okay, so this is the land that we've procured temporarily to just start since we don't have the funds right now. And this is a picture that a picture of rice bran that are being produced after processing the rice. And also we also have, this is the sawdust, the competence, this is what they produce, the sawdust. And so this is a mushroom cultivation, a cultivation of mushrooms in the room. This is how it is being done. And it takes 4 weeks, 3 to 4 weeks to, produce these particular mushrooms. Okay, so this is our impact model. It will aid in the proper management and recycling of the waste, increase participation in waste management practices, improve nutrition and food security as mushroom gives protein, and also create employment and improve nutrition through the Ghana government school feeding program and households, including mushrooms in their daily meals. And also we are also to increase the income from mushroom sales. Also we are to this project also contribute to environmental sustainability and climate mitigation. We are also to provide an alternative to the excess intake of meats that has a negative effect on the human health. Also, the project fits into the broader goal of the Ghanaian government of making Ghana the cleanest city in Africa. And also we are contributing to mitigating carbon emissions, fitting also into the Ghana climate change adaptation strategy after COP26, and additionally contributing to the United Nations Sustainable Goals 1, 3, 8, 12, and 13. And so this is the progress to date. Engagement with the community stakeholders. We did that, and then we came out, secondly, with acquiring the temporal land. So advocacy on the need for waste management is also what we have done, and dialogue on the availability of land and willingness of landowners to offer land for the meantime, and securing of land for the creation of mushroom cultivation center. I'll stop here and give it to my co-teammate.
I'm Abdallah Sikim, as you mentioned earlier. So I'm to continue.
So Marshmallows, you have 2 minutes more.
It's not working. So so far, our progress to date, we have had engagement with the stakeholders, and we all know the stakeholders, isn't it? So the assemblymen and all those with the authorities. So we've had engagements with almost all of them. And then we've also had advocacy on the need for us to practice waste management. And also we've had dialogue with the landowner who is willing to release the land for us for a short time for us to implement our project. So lastly, we've been able to secure a land for this very project. Let's move to the next one. The next one is what? So the lessons learned. So during the lessons learned, we've been able to learn how to talk to the community leaders and work with them. You don't just go there and start talking. There are procedures, who to see, who to meet, how to present yourself, how to even present the projects you have for them, because we need their cooperation. Without them, I don't think we'll be able to implement it. For instance, the land, are we buying it? No, they are just using it for us because of the goal we have, which is going to benefit us and them as well. And then what's the next thing? Can you move forward? Okay, so we've also gotten to know the need to consider future impact on our eco businesses and to work with the local assembly. Also, we now know what it entails to say project management. So let's move on to the next slide. So the future plan. We intend to expand the climate smart marshmallow business to other communities where they are also facing the same challenges, and then securing a permanent land where we'll be able to operate the marshmallow business venture. And then we also want to obtain licenses where we can also produce and work just like any other producing company in Ghana. We also want to the capacity to build programs for the training youth, which is very important because that's what you guys are doing for us. So we would also like to also develop a training program where we'll be able to also mentor others, just as they are mentoring us. So we'll be able to take it too far to the future, even when they are no more or we are no more. So let's go to the next one. So I would like to add something. According to our research, we got to know that a mushroom contains only 22 calories. And so I was like, why not? Let's check chicken, which we all like, isn't it? We all like chicken. Of course, it's nice, especially with KFC. So we checked with the breast, the chicken breast, and the fat was 179 calories. So we went further on to check the size, which was about 203 calories, sorry. So looking at all this, mushroom has only 22 calories. So I would urge all of you to minimize the chicken, the beef, and intake of milk, and use mushroom as a source of proteins for us, because mushroom is a good source of protein and a low-calorie protein.
A round of applause for them. So we'll have two takes from two of the panelists. So let's go with Arnold first.
I just wanted to say fantastic job. That's really, really excellent work. For you and other groups, it's hard to remember that you're students and not just creating a mushroom farm and doing all this stuff. It's just fantastic. I'm so impressed and proud of all of you.
Any question from the audience? I'm sorry.
I have a question. I want to find out, is there any health risk associated with the sawdust and the rice? Is there any health risk? And the combination, is it something you can combine together and chemically there wouldn't be any effects? Or
yeah, so this is edible mushroom. Combining the rice bran plus the sawdust is something which produces edible mushrooms. And we don't just produce it like that. You sterilize the things before it can produce. So it produces naturally. And mushroom is fungi. Personally, I do some on holidays, but on a small scale. I just do it from home, house consumption, something like that. So naturally, it's healthy, it's fungi, and there's nothing wrong. There's no health-related diseases with it. Yeah.
To add up to what she said, fungi, we have harmful fungi, and then we have the edible ones as well. So what we are producing is the edible one. And even looking at the source where we are producing it from, it's not going to be harmful to us or contain any chemical which might lead to a damage in the system. So it's all organic, and we are just converting this. Okay, they are residues, but they are considered as waste also, because when you go to the timber market and you go to the rice mill, you see them burning all those things, and sometimes you see them on the floor. It will rain, breed mosquitoes, breed all sort of things. So why not? We are to collect all those waste from them and then convert it into edible mushrooms, which
a round of applause for Marshmallows. Thank you so much for your presentation. Thank you so much. So you can.
So this is not a question, but I need some of your mushrooms, I beg. So where are you located? Upper West. I need some of your mushrooms. Okay, so you deliver?
Do you deliver? Not yet.
Okay, thank you so much. The letter that I have to add to it is concerning
Ms. Lavier's question about it being safe or not when producing the mushrooms. I know that sawdust can be carcinogenic when you inhale it. So if you are willing to venture into anything concerning mushrooms using sawdust, you just have to just cover your noses or maybe wear a mask to protect yourself from being endangered. So most of you are asking, where are you going to get your photos after it's being taken? So go on Facebook, there is Baobab Entrepreneur. You can follow them on Facebook just so that you can get your photos uploaded on there. You can also join the live stream or even watch the recap of this live stream on Baobab Entrepreneur on YouTube. So that's it for that. The next thing that we have is that we have a presentation by Bisa and also a fund giveaway. So we would invite someone from Bisa, which is being inspired by stories from Africa, So let's welcome someone from Be Inspired by Stories from Africa. A round of applause, please.
Good evening to us all. It's a very great day, and we are thankful that we were all able to come here, and then we've learned so much about ecopreneurship. And I hope that when we all go home, we'll be able to do something in relation to it. Now, I am here to talk about Be Inspired with Stories from Africa. I think we have spoken to almost half of the audience already, but Be Inspired with Stories from Africa is a storytelling platform where we create awareness on environmental and social issues all around Africa, not just Ghana. We are here purposely for environmental stories, and we will attest to the fact that there are so many initiatives that have been, we've been opened up to here that most of us didn't have any idea about. And that's how it is for the whole of Africa. There are certain things going on, especially with the group presentation, the briquettes, the mushrooms, that most of us have no idea about. Our mothers in the village, they don't even know how to turn coconut husk into briquettes. That's why Bisa is available. So we share those stories, and then we create the awareness to people, to other people. So we will entreat with you to follow our platform. We have tags around. The ushers are having our tags. I think our sister at the back has our tag. So you can scan. There's a code on it that you can scan, and it will automatically take you to our YouTube channel where you can follow us. There's a story that I want to throw light on. Al Jazeera, I think early this year, Al Jazeera came up with a story about, let me just pick it from here. The title of the documentary was Child Labor, Raising in Ghana and Ivory Coast Cocoa Farms. They did a study, and let me summarize what they did. They came to the farmers, and then they asked the farmers, they want to take a video of their farms. And they asked the farmers to come along with their children. Al Jazeera reporters and camera crew asked the farmers to come along with their children. But at the end of the day, the story they actually aired was child labor. So if you are not a Ghanaian, if you are not a farmer, if you were not there with them, you would think that there's actually child labor going on in our farming systems. And the farmers took it upon themselves to tell the truth, to share their part of the story. So as Africans, as Ghanaians, we shouldn't wait for our stories to be told by other people. We need to share our stories ourselves. There are people who still think that we are living on trees. I don't know if this is a tree house. I mean, they still think we are living under trees. If you ask people, how poor is Africa? What is Africa? What do you know about Africa? They will tell you that Africa is a continent without water. Some people even do not know that Africa is a continent. They think we're a country. And so I think Nigeria is a region, and then South Africa is a region. That's what they think about. But it's our mandate to be able to share those stories so that we'll be able to reach the audience and tell them a little bit about ourselves. Because even if you pick a community like Boko, I think it's a whole town on its own, like Boko. There are so many people in Boko, and there are so many things going on in Boko that someone in the greater Accra region do not know about. And it is our mandate to be able to share such stories to reach so many people. And one thing that BISA is doing that I want to throw more light on is the Guiding Green Growth Africa Summit. It's a storytelling event where we focus on stories of climate change and adapting to cutting emissions. So we are looking for stories on cutting emissions and adapting to climate impact. So your story can be a write-up, it can be a documentary, it can be any form of storytelling. And there are cash prizes along with it. There are souvenirs. We would have one in Ghana on the 26th of August, but right now we are calling for story submissions. So from now till 30th of July, we are calling for story submissions. And then we'll pick contestants, and then they'll represent their stories, share it well. And then at the end of the day, those stories will be shared on the BISA platform. And on 28th and 29th of September, we are having another edition, which is in Ethiopia. We are partnering with the All African Students Union to bring this event. And I think since we are environmentalists, let me put it that way, and we are ecopreneurs, we can be able to come up with our stories. I think group 1 was producing briquettes, the group that just presented. You are presenting about mushrooms. You can create a story, create an impactful story on your project and share it with us. And we don't know, you might be the winner. If you are not part of the project as well and you are here, you can share a story about innovative things going on in your community. You can share it with us, and you might be the winner. You might have the cash prize or the product as well. And I want us all to be able to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We are mainly on YouTube, and it's B.inspired with stories from Africa. So it's B.inspired with stories from Africa. We are on LinkedIn. We are on Facebook. Facebook is BISA with Betty. BISA with Betty. So our keynote speaker is our founder, and that's the name of our Facebook. On Instagram, we are being inspired with stories from Africa as well. And you can follow us on all social media platforms. We are open to ambassadors as well. You can join us and then be an ambassador for your community and then share stories in your community. So I'll let my brother turn to us with a camera, and we will all say, be inspired with stories from Africa. That's all I want us to do right now. It's a small exercise I want us to do. So be inspired with stories from Africa. So 1, 2, 3, 4, go. Oh, the vim is not there. We'll eat right now. Don't worry. Bring the vim. Be inspired with stories from Africa. 1, 2, 4, go. Thank you very much. Have a great day.
So do not forget that you could be the lucky winner for being inspired with stories from Africa. And we're moving on to the third session. In the third session, we have a spoken word from Nana Amankona Diewu. So if Nana Amankona is here, can you come forward as we have your spoken word? Thanks.
My message puts me to my feet. So don't bother to offer me a seat. I've been on my feet to share with you this message so sweet. I'm not a cheat. So this I tweet. Shout it everywhere in the street. Let it be a dairy me that you eat. It is you that I greet. Michachamo. Unyunadro. Uya akotone tobre. Nanso, mami sena imam watching. Imam watching. Ane, menono, imam watching. Adiache menso, adiache me. Or tamfono, nyami anchime. Enura, mechiae. And so, my. Achi an kwan so na anu ahimadachi me sorry te sa ponche me ne boachi anka me pe starch achi ama krachi okwo krachi na se pe banchi starch so me machi kanchi kodlu ni nchen no na ni nyina ahye na so me manchi ade achi me so nti imam achi na me ni me da achi se me be ye krachi ma ye nya me chi ame ti imam achi. Nana amankona diawu. I wrote this for that beautiful unemployed lady out there who wants to live a luxurious life. I wrote this for that girl who wants to look like the girl in the magazine and to admonish her that the girl in the magazine does not even look like the girl in the magazine. I mean, the girl in the magazine does not even look like the girl in the magazine. Mr. DJ. Jocelyn Diane, I covered your grime, made you prime. For you, my life tasted lime, but I took from you not even a dime. You were my pride, but you allowed yourself to be bribed. Even though it was obvious the signs, I didn't mind. I did all my best to accept you as my quest, but you never had time to rest. You were always in a haste to engage in a weather fest and putting God to a test. You committed sins more than incest. North, south, east, and west. To men, you became a pest. Always standing by the roadside looking for who was next. You ate their money as if it was pissed. I tried calling you to order, but you never bothered. You never listened to mother. Diane, do not take that which belongs to another, but you claim you know better and saying you will change later. It was late. The day I received your letter. The letter that made me rush to your burial in cold weather. So be your far, your bomb modern koto na your Korea. You free and pass over so. Let the warrior to say, we should play court to share, say, a moon fasoa, and shall now bua also. You flee to Boissy Muenya, and I'm fast over so. Yet the old church there, one no so. Our father who is the cantema, Obupanina, was a share Okra Mobla. Our Baflana, oh dear, Winnie Mobla, say Winnie Mobla, and Kaube who said, a move on bla, and Yamre, Tini Hiam Mere, a move of ble, horrid. That be just a wobble. One shot, when Nimra now was straight. And this will be a dear when you cooperate near my open, just a operate. Lama whole crab bit, Nina Chino, Ubashire. Show bra, try you trap watch ma, at Nifly here, Chia, at the not require, at not require bit. Shut down quasare, say I was re. Unimintra or blam some yantins, You see, life is one complex structure, how to draw even in architecture. So no matter how you are lectured, life doesn't turn out to be the way we have pictured. There's one way to live life, that is sure. That's obeying God's word in the scriptures, to live life purposefully on earth and have a future while preparing for heavenly departure. Life may be difficult to navigate through, but with God's directions, we break through. Every hurdle standing at barrier is so tough, making our navigation through life so rough. But no matter how difficult life can be, God knows, sees, and can set you free. From the things that hold you back from God, you have to flee. Surrender willingly to God. Let him know that before him, you are a needy. And you are ready. Give God chance to make life easy. I'm the witty poet.
Yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for such a wonderful piece. My name is Tasantu Arahmat Abuaje, and I'll be taking us through the third session of this program. Yeah, this is the third session. So fast forward, we're going to have another panel discussion. And this discussion will be moderated by Rudalyn Yame. She's a contestant in the Miss Tourism 2023, and she's the current UBCAP Financial Secretary. So Miss Rudalyn Yame, if you're on, can we have you? A round of applause for her, please.
Thank you very much, Machio. DYEC conference. Oh, I'm not feeling the vibe. I know we are tired. It has been, we started from morning and we are still here. But if I don't hear from you, we are not closing. So DYEC 2023. DYEC 2023. Okay. So greetings, ladies and gentlemen. All protocols observed. My name is Rudalyn Yame, as she stated rightly. I'm a contestant of Miss Tourism Ghana 2023. I am UNIGAP's financial secretary as well, and a former general secretary for UG Eco Club chapter. Let's appreciate our sponsors. Without our sponsors, this wouldn't have been possible. I am happy to announce that I am the moderator for the third section on the team collaboration and networking. Without much ado, I would love to invite my co-speakers on stage. So with a resounding round of applause, let's welcome Joshua Ayayi. Please, let's clap for him as he mounts the stage. Next is Madam Farida Amankwa. Madam Farida Amankwa, please, if you are here, join us on stage. Oh, please, let's keep clapping. Keep the morale high. I have here Madam Emanuela Bema. Madam Emanuela Bema. Then Mr. Samuel Isuman. Mr. Samuel Isuman. Please, let's keep on clapping as they mount the stage. Thank you, wonderful audience, for your time and patience. Thank you, my lovely speakers, for joining me on stage. Before we begin, I would love for you guys to give us a brief introduction of yourselves. Please, let's be quick with it.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Emanuela Apia. I'm the founder of Green Ecoworks Limited. We are into plastic waste recycling. We recycle plastic waste into composite material, which we use to make furniture. I'm also sustainability activist and consultant, and I to teach. Hello. I teach people how to recycle their plastic waste that they generate in their homes. Thank you.
Okay. My name is Farida Mankwagabi. I'm a final year student of SDD UBS, formerly known as UDS WA Campus. I'm a volunteer, and also I work with EcoClean Ghana, an organization that recycle plastic waste into eco-friendly materials such as laptop bags, school bags, and many more. Yes, that's something small about me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Joshua Tete Ayayi. And I am the programs director at Love Aid Foundation. As well, I founded Youth Alliance for Sustainability just last year, September. And we do internet governance, we do climate action, and then we do education, Goal 4.7 to be specific.
Okay, I'm Samuel Suman, an electrical engineering student from TTU, and I'm the co-founder for Sam Ike Agric Farms, and we are into agric business. We are also into farming, and also bringing so much ideas on board to aid us in agric farming. Right now, we are into cocoa farming and tomato production, and we are also into pepper, and we are exploring more. But our own is to bring the ideas we have in our academics onto practical field. And as I said, I'm an electrical student, and by God doing so well, we want to bring a lot of technological ideas on board to help in our agri sector. And that's what we do. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you. Please clap for my speakers up here. Okay, so we are going to build on what we discussed in the morning. That was empowering the youth and youth inclusiveness. But as I stated earlier on, our discussion is on collaboration and networking. Most of us are familiar with collaborating and networking, but the question of the day is, are we using it rightly? You know, if you have an information and you are not using it rightly, it goes against you at the end of the day. So as I stated earlier on, we are building on what we discussed in the morning. So with Mr. Joshua, as you are the founder of Youth Alliance, what are some of the strategies you have put in place to get the youth and participating in every activity that goes on?
Well, thank you. I would say I came to Accra in 2016. So I'm a junior high school graduate, right? Never been to the senior high school, university, no. So I came to Accra in 2016. My father died. We were living in Accra, you know, Ghana Airways, you know, middle income family, and then he died, right? So all of a sudden reality hits. So we went to Ho, continued schooling. After schooling, I wasn't able to continue because we didn't have the funds. Fast forward, 2016, came to Accra, you know, trying to learn how to build a business. So you move from hub to hub. My favorite place was iSpace, Ghana. And that was how it started. Now, 2019, after going through a lot of pitching and coming back with zero, I came back with whole empty-handed, right? So my process of learning in life has been to volunteer. And you see, when you are hungry, you just learn to ask, right? I remember before I came to Ho in 2019, I was looking for a laptop. My laptop had gotten spoiled, and I was asking, I didn't get. Now, it was the same curiosity I had when I came to Ho, even though I was a disappointed entrepreneur, someone who has gone, you know, from the village to the big city to look for money and come back empty-handed. So the first thing I'll say is ask. I asked because I was watching New Day. I saw NCCE National say they were doing something. I went to the regional office. I'm looking for the regional director. Oh, what do you want? I am a citizen of Ghana and I learned this is what is happening. I want to ask, what is the region doing about it? Oh, yes, we have XYZ in place, but we don't have money. We are looking for volunteers. No problem. I want to serve my country. Fast forward, I met Lovia that same 2019. She was also on her hustle. We paired up. Then we became 3. Together we were on the hustle. So Lovia is a convener on the CSO's platform for the SDGs, right, in Ho. So we went around organizations, whether we were invited or not, going from conference to conference, teaching them about the SDGs, whether they liked it or not. You know what happened? We actually began to mobilize young people for change. And I'll tell you, when an opportunity came for an ecosystem mapping, when they called youth organizations, we were actually not invited. But apparently at that meeting, people were just mentioning names that they had to come to us in the office. Fast forward, we are managing a 3-year project in the whole municipality as part of a consortium, which is worth 4.5 billion Ghana cedis. You are talking about connection and networking. The first thing I'll say, ask. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your submission. As you said, if you are doing something, do it well and keep on going. Don't be discouraged. Okay, so back to Emanuela Bema. So I know you are into recycling and you are passionate about circular economy. How has the journey been so far?
It's been so difficult.
Hey,
it's not easy. It's not. First of all, recycling of plastic is not new in Ghana, but recycling it into something that everybody will use, something like doing and getting people to accept it.
Okay.
It's difficult because when I first had the idea, I told a few people about it. I was accepted into an incubation program at Recycle Hub Ghana. And one of the facilitators told me that, hey, furniture there, now why never buy better? More young Korean table, more the plastic young Korean table, who come and buy? So that was the first discouragement because he hadn't seen it before. He couldn't conceptualize it. So introducing something like that, it was something people couldn't like perceive it in their minds. So how I solved that problem is last year, supported by GAIO and Youth Climate Council, I and my team, we did an advocacy campaign on campus in KNUST. We built 3 benches out of plastic, which is 2 of them are currently on the campus, so that people could see and feel it and know that, okay, this can actually be done. So that was the first step. And I showed the prototype to other people for them also to see. And when people experienced it, then one of the biggest problems was solved. So that's how it's been since the beginning. People, they haven't seen it before. They don't know what we are talking about. But once we demonstrated it to them, then they were able to accept that this thing can be done.
Please, let's snap for her. She's doing amazingly well. Okay, to you, Madam Farida Amankwa. So you are also the coordinator of EcoClean Ghana at UDS. How has the journey been so far? Please be snappy with your contribution.
Okay, thank you so much. As I said, I'm a student and a student volunteer. So I started my career with diploma. I actually did diploma in integrated community development in UDS, former UDS. That's now SDDU base. So when I started the course, UDS has this third trimester field practicum program. We go to the communities where we learn about what the community does and other things. That was when I experienced something and I got to know that there is something I can actually start after the third trimester field practicum program. I actually met a lady called Lav Nyaba. So she was already in the NGO field. I asked her how she got into that field and she explained to me. So after the third trimester field program, when I came home, I started writing applications to organizations in Kumasi for volunteerism. So when I went back to school, I didn't want to stop. I met ISEC. That was the first organization I volunteered with on campus. I started with ISEC and I met the Rotaract Club of UDS by then. I started with Rotaract, and when I completed diploma, I was now thinking about what to do. I didn't want to do the same course. So I ventured into environment and resource management. So environment exposed me to a lot. We started learning a course on its own called biodiversity. It was an elective. And those of us who were offering that course were only 5. So I learned about recycling, biodiversity, and conservation and other things. So I started asking myself if there are something like this, there's something called recycling and we are not doing any practical aspect of it, then what am I doing? I came home and I went on Facebook. I was searching for environmental organizations and I encountered Recycle Lab Ghana. When I saw Recycle Lab Ghana, they were doing this thing, startup weekend, and it was left with 2 days for the deadline. So I just applied and I qualified. I went to Recycle Lab Ghana with a business idea. And I met somebody there who was also having the same business idea I had. That's using the plastics for the materials. So we teamed up and we pitched. And God being so good, we won the startup weekend. But because I was in school, I wasn't going to Recycle Lab Ghana for the incubation and other things. So I started looking out for organizations in the Upper West region and I discovered EcoClean Ghana. So during my vacation, I called my parents that I wouldn't come home. I want to use that period for volunteerism. I told the boss that I want to volunteer. So I went there and I started volunteerism with EcoClean Ghana. And through what I've been learning in school, I decided to apply that to EcoClean Ghana. And I started going to YouTube. I started learning more about recycling, how to use the bottles for pencil case and other things. So he asked me, what do I want to do? And I said, I can recycle. And he said, you can recycle. What do you need? I said, I just need something called glue gun. I saw it on YouTube. He said, you need a glue gun. I said, yes, I'll get it for you. What do you need again? And I said, the glue sticks. He got it for me. So when I go to the office, I just take my bottles and other things and I start recycling. So when I started that, before EcoClean Ghana, I was a campus ambassador for one organization called Countdown Circular Economy, but they are not in Ghana. And I was finding it very difficult to form a team on campus. So when I met EcoClean Ghana, I decided to use the opportunity to team up with Countdown Circular Economy, and we formed the campus team. So now what we are doing with the campus team is we are using plastic bottles. We've even come out with a prototype. We've used plastic bottles to build a chair and also a small table. That's our first attempt. But we are actually looking at how to build it into this type, how someone can sit and relax. So that's one thing I'm doing as a a school coordinator for EcoClean Ghana. And we also have something called the Eco Greening Schools. The Eco Greening Schools, we work with primary school children. We work with primary school children where we teach them about waste management and also recycling. So if you go to most of the schools we work with, that's the primary school children, and you ask them that what is waste, they'll actually tell you waste are resources. Yeah, so that's one thing I'm doing as a school coordinator for EcoClean Ghana.
Okay, so Madam Perida, as you mentioned earlier on, you are into waste management. Waste management is actually an environmental issue, a big one. So how do you educate our younger ones out there to actually do proper segregation, waste segregation? How do you educate them? Yes, please.
That's what I said. So the schools.
So just re-echo it.
Yeah, I forgot to bring my bag. I would have actually showed you what we are doing. Now, most of the schools we are working with, they gather the plastic sachet rubbers and bring it to us at Eco Clean Ghana. And at the end of their vacation, I actually try to write a script for them, the children. So they come out, some act as trees, some act as plastic bottles. So we also do exhibitions. We tell them, go home, do this and come. And you can imagine children bringing out creative ideas. It's amazing. Oh, Brad Maxwell is not here. That's why ND team came to the Upper West region to document Eco Clean Ghana. So I just told the children that, you know what? A team from Accra is coming to Upper West. I want you to do something creative. That's what I told them. And that day when they came, I don't know whether Safu is here. Up to now, Safu has been telling me that's his first time coming to Upper West, not just Safu, the SYND team. But they always say that's their first time coming to Upper West region, but they are really in love with Upper West region, what they've seen. The children came out with amazing creativities. Somebody used paper for a grinding mill and it's actually working.
Wow.
Sure. So that's one achievement.
Thank you very much. So to my audience, you can actually make money just gathering waste. So let's engage ourselves in proper waste segregation to help our mother Ghana. So let's move a little bit into the agriculture sector. So I know Mr. Suman here, you are into agric farming. How can you educate our younger ones, our younger ecopreneurs on how to make money and not lose at the end of the day?
Okay, wonderful. Thank you all for this great opportunity. First of all, one thing I will tackle is as young people, we need to know where our interests are. Most of us are reading a lot of programs, but we don't know what we are yet to do. So in case we complete school. And so first of all, one thing I will talk about is let us know where our interests. Now, let me use myself, for example. I am an electrical engineering student, but I was there and I realized that when I see crops, people into farming, I really love it. So I try to develop that passion in agric. Now, I have a brother who is into cocoa farming and all of that. And purposefully, he was, at first, he was having 10 acres of land into cocoa cultivation, but we realized that it was keeping so long. Yeah, it was keeping to get 4 years. Yes, still, we are not experiencing the result. And we realized that after weeding, they actually burn. We realized that if you're able to leave the weeds on the land it will serve as a manure. And then when you plant the cocoa nesting and then you do some 1 or 2 things, of which I came with that idea. And then when that idea was sourced out purposefully, we started gaining a lot of time because people realized that in that village, our way of doing the cocoa production is really booming. And as I talk right now, we are having 21 acres of cocoa farmland. And then you can imagine 21 acres. A year, we are heading towards 1.6 billion in the old Ghana currency. So that is where our interests are. And then now I'm trying to invest my idea also into tomato production, tomato farming. I realized that Ghanaians, we are really struggling with the issue of tomatoes. Recently, 5-3 tomatoes cannot even satisfy you as an individual. So I'm trying to come up with a lot of ideas that can help into tomato and to also even aid in the climatic changes, as in the case of a lot of plastic waste on our environment. Can they be recycled again? And I'm coming about with plastic culture, of which we can recycle this our plastic waste into means and ways. We can also invade that into our agric sector. So that is an idea that we are also bringing on board. So that's what purposely we do in some agric farms. That is what we do. Yes.
Okay, so because of time, kindly share with us your personal experience in 60 seconds.
Okay. My personal experience is that me as an electrical student, when I started to develop my interest in the agric, people around me will be like, You are in electrical, we are aiming that you'll be at VRA, Greco, wherever. Why are you diverting into a Greek? Actually, it was a way of discouragement, but I knew what I want to do. So I encourage myself that with my electrical knowledge, I can bring up technologies that will help in our grid sector. And recently, we have this research and software hub that we are bringing on board a modernized way of, harvesting cocoa. And it's something that we are coming to present it on, I think, on Western region. You see, that is what we are coming to do on Western region. And please, that is what motivated me. So I want to also encourage each and everyone also that as I develop my interest right now, I'm into 2 organizations, KIC and then Western Region Smart Farming. They are having their training today. They were on me, sir, but I have to tell them that they have to reschedule me. But when I was able to develop my interest in agric, a lot of opportunities have been able to open up for me. So that's what I want to encourage with the young people to also develop what is within us. Maybe you also can be agric, and then all the program you are doing is related to agric. Doesn't matter, marketing or whatsoever, it's related to agric. So that is what I can say.
Okay, so Madam Farida Amankwa, kindly share with us. So we are all sharing our experiences in 60 seconds. Let's be snappy.
So all I want to say is, as problems keep increasing, so there is a need to bring up more ecopreneurs in the industry. There's a saying that it's easier to raise a child than to repair a broken man. So I want to acknowledge what Gaio is doing by building up our capacity, skills, and other things. So we have to keep volunteering. Volunteerism can actually, unleash your potentials. You can actually know your path, what you want to do. Me sitting here, I've volunteered with a lot of organizations. Sometimes I ask myself what I want to do. But being in the environment sector, volunteering in the environment sector has actually exposed me to a lot. It has exposed me to a lot. Sometimes my friends always tell me that, as for you don't have problem in doing national service. And it's true, but I'm actually confused where to start from. Sometimes I ask for advice and they tell me that I should just follow what my heart is telling me. And that's what I want to do. I don't want to rush. I want to start from a place I know that I can build myself well. And in the near future, I can stand on my own. So actually winning the startup funding from Recycle Up Ghana, I've even forgotten of my co-founder. She's doing something on her own and I'm actually learning from there. And I've actually learned more from there. I'm not even thinking about starting my own organization because I've actually gotten what I want. I've built myself, and I've gotten the exposure because SYND team, if not because they came to work, they don't even know EcoClean Ghana has a CEO. They actually thought I was the CEO. And everything they communicate to me and I communicate to him. But they came and I introduced them and they were like, wow, that's your boss. I said, yes. So I've gotten the exposure. Yeah, I'll say volunteerism is good. Everyone should volunteer. Thank you.
Yeah. So please, your personal experience in 60 minutes. 60 seconds, sorry.
Okay. My personal experience, I stumbled into sustainability and recycling. It wasn't something I even knew existed before I got into it. And then when I got into it, and it just swallowed me into it. And I've been passionate about it since. And when I started, I didn't know in fact, I didn't know what I was doing. So I had to seek out people in the space, people who were doing similar things. I spoke to some. That was first found out about Recycle Up. I went on to do other programs with other organizations, and I built my capacity as a person while I was also developing the business. I saw some of you students pitching today, and I think it's a good start because if you've started now and you keep building on it, you keep listening to what the judges say, how they advise you, Hello. Then you also be able to develop your business up to a point where you can even go global, because in my experience, that's how it has been. For me, my business, I have refined my pitch 1 billion times, because I go and pitch here, they tell me something, I come and apply the ones that fits in, then I go to someone else for mentorship. I have people who have been advising me since day one and who are ready to push me to be the best in the business, who are advising me to be the best of myself and also push the business to a higher level. That's how it has been so far. So what I would like to say to the youth ecopreneurs is that, first of all, find a need. That is, find a problem and fill it. Because if we are all trying to build a business from the ecopreneurship. If there's no problem, you can't solve it. And there are a lot of problems. So find the one which not many people are looking at. Even if there are many people, there's still so many things to be done. Find it and do your research. You definitely find a solution to it. After you do your research, you have to make sure that you know what you are doing. Learn on your own to know what you are doing about the business or the projects that you are doing. If you can't find anything on the internet, go to people in the space. Fortunately, we have Gaio here. There are so many experts in Gaio who are ready to help. And they can also assist you to apply for funding to at least make prototypes of the solution that you bring out. Also, you should open yourself up to mentorship and coaching, because if you don't, then you go and hit a wall and your business will collapse. So if you open yourself up to the advice that people are giving you, that the experts who know what they are saying are giving you, then you'll be able to also push yourself and push the project or the business that you are doing. That has been my experience so far. So I also tell you to do the same thing, and it can push you to places. Thank you.
So as we wrap up, Mr. Joshua Ayayi, as the founder of Youth Alliance, what would be the advice you give to our fellow ecopreneurs who have just started the journey?
Thank you. You just started. Don't expect to do what Mark Zuckerberg is doing right now. Of course, there are kids today who are 16 years who are not going to school because they are earning $150 million a year, right? And these are kids who are analyzing sports, but it's because those countries have certain structures, right? Over here, we started with Kwasasa, and then after a while, it died down. By the fireside, once Mami Dokunu was out of business, by the fireside also was out of business, right? And so we've not been able to build our structures. So one, volunteer. Volunteering builds your capacity, right? It makes you add value to wherever you go. And then wherever you go, seek out problems in those places and seek to solve them. Please, believe you me, if you become the resting place of your boss, who do you think he or she is going to pick when there's an opportunity? Obviously you, because you are the person, everything go to Joshua. Everything go to Joshua. And you see, if you have that name tag on you, and the good thing I really thank God is, even for the organizations I'm no longer actively volunteering for, their directors will call me and say, as for Joshua, this is why I like you. And if you build that name, trust me, believe you me, you will volunteer, but you will go places, you will become an expert. And like someone was saying, he wants to become an international relations. Actually, it's very, very easy to get into the annals of the UN. The point is, you need to do it with volunteering, because they cherish that more. People that they can groom, right? If you have that track record of volunteering, the UN is an easy place to work in. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your submissions. So as they stated earlier on, networking starts by asking, and also don't forget to volunteer. Thank you. So please, we have room for 3 questions. If you have a question, kindly put up your hand so that we allow you to ask your question. 3 questions. Okay, since we have no one, thank you very much for your audience.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much, our panel of judges. We are going to close in a bit, but before then, we are going to have a presentation of awards by Nana Minta.
Thank you very much, Ellen. And it seems we've come to the end of the session of this conference. So as they said or beginning, we've gone through this journey for the past 6 months now, and in sponsorship of US Embassy, in collaboration with 10 Billion Strong Empowerment Works, Green Africa Youth Organization, and then the Eco Club. Each team has been awarded with $1,000 and for them to start their project. So I would like to call upon Arnold to present the first award to Marshmallow. Do we have a representative of Marshmallow here? Okay, so you can hand it over. So 1,000 goes to Marshmallow for them to start the initiative of this small enterprise. So, thank you very much. Next 1,000 goes to Cleanco, representative of Cleanco, if they are here. Cleanco. Okay, so I'll call upon Maxwell, bigger name, to give the next awards. Maxwell to give the next one to the next groups. Re-Eco 15, representatives of Re-Eco 15. Re-Eco 15. Okay. Clap on it. Yeah, open up. Okay. And the last one, the award grant goes to Village Bees, also known as Believe Swift. Yeah. So if you have representatives here. Okay. All right, that's great. Thank you so much. Once again, we thank U.S. Embassy, the Empowerment Works 10 Billion Strong, Green Africa Youth Organization, and the Eco Club, as well as our supporting organizers. So we have come to the end of this program. I'd like to call upon Susanna Beju to give us the vote of thanks, and then we have a choral from Pax, the last one, then we leave, so that we go out there to have our refreshments. Thank you very much. Susanna Beju. Susanna Bedu. Okay, and all the pictures that we've taken here, including the videos and everything, it will be streamlined at Baobab Entrepreneur. So Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all the social media handles, you can go there to check them out. And if you want them to give a live coverage of your events, get to them and they'll give you the best. So right after the vote of thanks, we have the Pax choral here to give us some melodies, then we leave. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is Huraira Miao. And thank you, the panelists. Thank you, the various campus coordinators. Thank you, participants who played various roles in making this program a success. Thank you, the entire technical team and ISSER for giving us the whole program for everything. Thank you so much. And have a great one. Thank you.
So thank you very much for staying until the end. Right now, let us invite from University of Ghana, Pax Choir Eugene for the musical interlude. With a round of applause, please.
Two.
So far, no one. No, did them one. No share. Like this. Oh, hallelujah. Oh. So John. So John.
Yes, 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 so me boss. So me boss. Oh, Echonya me, Echonya me, Echonya me, yes, oh yes, oh yeah, oh yeah, Echonya me, yes, Asemba Fabio, oh yeah, oh yeah. Oh, what